Oh, is recording? Hello, it's Friday, May 29th. My name is Rio, and I will be your host for this video. If you haven't been watching these at all and you're just seeing my videos for the first time, I wanted to talk about some stuff right off the bat that's some of it's a little morbid, some of it's sad, but it was just some stuff that I was thinking about, and I wanted to tell you guys about what was on my mind. Earlier, it's almost 3 right now, but I've been thinking about this for the last couple of hours while just kind of getting some stuff done and killing some time before work here. First off, I had a dream last night that I met David Lynch. I literally met him in my dream. I've been really obsessed with him more recently, from an artist from one artist to another standpoint. And honestly, I have to watch more of his stuff. I've only seen The Elephant Man and Eraserhead, and maybe some of his short films. But I definitely have to see all the standards: Mulholland Drive, Blue Velvet, Twin Peaks. Those are still, those have been on my radar, and I really have to. I honestly should get them soon and watch them, or find some way to watch them. But I dreamt that I met him last night, and was crying. Heavily, in my dream, I was crying so much, as far as the feeling of this loss of somebody that would really get me completely. When I hear him, anytime I see a clip of him talking about art, or I think about all the different things that he did, he and I are eerily paralleled in a lot of ways. And I'm not comparing myself to the genius that he is in any way, shape, or form. I just mean that he and I are as far as having multiple different outlets through different artistic paths for one life. He did all sorts of shit, and I relate to that completely. He did he painted, and he owned musical instruments. He played music and made, we all know him from movies, but he did all sorts of shit. He had such a lovely outlook and a lovely perspective on how important art is, and how important creativity is, and storytelling, and all of it. He is in one person. This one guy encompassed so much. And I don't know, I talk about this with Doogie a lot. I don't know if, he's a little more definitive about it than I am. I have a little bit of optimism, but he has a point that once David Lynch, since he died recently, unfortunately, he says that's I'm sorry, I haven't eaten anything. My brain's not there yet. He was saying, a big part of the importance of this shit died with him, and I agree with that in some way. I don't want to think that that's the end of it, however. But the purist, David Lynch was such a that purist mentality of these with these things is so fucking important, and I guess that's why I've been kind of focused on that, or focused on the parts of it that I love lately. I'm trying to get to that. I've realized I only want to approach things like that for the rest of my life, as far as having that utmost care for it, and that I love how he says, losing an idea is death. You want to, all the times he says in a very hyperbolic way, so talk things about killing the self when you want to, as far as when you lose an idea, and just the extreme extremely I'm so sorry. I feel so fucking stupid right now. Why can't I describe what I'm trying to say? Why can't I say what I'm trying to say? Just that, in a good way, putting the art on this pedestal, or just really, I don't want to keep repeating myself. I guess I was trying to find a different way of saying this, but yes, just having the utmost care and putting the art in the most important place, the thing itself in the most important place you can. That's very rare with people, or people that have that much passion, I guess is what I was trying. I was literally looking for the word, like that extreme passion for it is super fucking important. So yeah, I was just thinking about him, and in my dream, I literally was like talking to him face to face, and like losing my shit, like oh my god, like I think in my dream I was literally saying like, out of everyone, I really wish I could have met you. I really wish I could have met him. So yeah, I gotta watch more of his stuff, but I already know that I'm gonna like it, even though I haven't watched it. Anything I have seen from him is just absolutely, and like it's incredibly out there, and so his own flavor of cinema and storytelling, and that's the most important thing, is having your own flavor. I'd say like he and Wes Anderson and like Paul Thomas Anderson are some of the most original filmmakers ever, as far as their style and the way that they approach making movies is so lovely. I'm a fan. This next one's a lot more morbid, but I think it's a very important thing to point this out. It's kind of fucked up. I was reading about, first off, I was scrolling through social media, and a story of this woman, one of the teachers in the Sandy Hook shooting, that like essentially protected her students. I was just reading the story of like how like apparently she was doing everything she could to like protect the kids, and then ended up like getting shot in the process, shot and killed, and how she was posthumously awarded some I believe it was like presidential, like some sort of presidential citizenship award or something. As far as I'm assuming that's from like the presidential desk or whatever. Anyway, that story popped up. I immediately thought like, what the fuck? Like, who was the person that did this? You know, I was just thinking like, what kind of person? The first thing that came to my mind, just how fucked up that whole story is, or how that whole, just the entire situation, and it just blows my mind that some people think it's like a hoax and that it never happened. Like that's so. If you think that, you're such a literal piece of shit, because this stuff does happen. This is how fucking ugly our world is, and why there's no God, and there's nothing that's going to fucking save us except ourselves. Once you realize that you are only going to save yourself, and people are the best that we got, and it's really not that great, that's why I can be a very nihilistic or pessimistic person or cynical person. So I was thinking about it. I was like, who the fuck does this? You know, started looking into who did it. I don't even want to say his name. I don't even remember his name. But I was looking at his Wikipedia and his background. And his no different than the Columbine parents. You could say that parents aren't to blame. I think parents are entirely to blame for every problem that we've ever had with the youth ever. And I think a big part of that problem is that like either people don't care about being parents, they don't want to do it, like they don't know how. Maybe they just suck as parents, or they're just, I don't know. But like when I was reading into it, essentially like, not only was his mother an avid gun owner, she was a huge advocate for bearing arms and owning weapons. She was not only had like a whole arsenal at their house apparently, but she did nothing. From what I read on the wiki, at least, apparently she did nothing to help his antisocial behaviors and his mental illness. And she fucked up. And she fucked up really bad. And he killed her, then he shot all those kids and killed some staff at the school, and then killed himself. And this is not only a case of like someone neglecting their child's actual needs and ignoring like these very important things when just creating a functional human being in society. Not only did she ignore that, but she like, what pisses me off with a lot of parents just in general, and pisses me off with a lot of people, she made excuses for him. Most likely. She most likely was just like, oh no, he's fine, and oh, he's all good. And she probably thought like nothing of his, you know, apparently he stopped going to school and was just like, she like failed him in every way possible when it came to, you know, helping him in any way with his personal issues and his mental illness and his behavior. That is so fucking insane how common that is. I've seen it firsthand with some people that I used to be friends with. I've literally seen it with many people where parents either just neglect and ignore their kids or they make excuses for them. And I fucking hate it. You're raising narcissists. You're raising kids that will never understand what taking responsibility is or what it means to that you're like the fact that your actions have consequences. Like if they never learn that, or they never learn that, even if it is unfair sometimes, it's more important to teach a kid discipline, or at least having some sort of self-discipline in that way. It's better to teach that. And for millennials, maybe it was a little heavy-handed for us because people saw the lack of I assume Gen Xers and Boomers saw felt that there was a lack of that. Some millennials, I think, got the worst of that. We were we were pretty rebellious still though too, but we had a lot of people on our ass. A lot of teachers and people were just, when I was a young kid and a teenager, at least adults were doing everything they could to I think because I was after Columbine especially, adults were doing everything they could to make sure that we weren't being little shitheads. And while it was kind of annoying and feeling anywhere I went when I was younger, adults were judging me or it was nice. That wasn't a bad thing. It wasn't nice. The fact that it really wasn't a bad thing. If it kept us teenagers more well behaved, at least I was always pretty well behaved. There was still kids are going to be kids. Young people suck because they don't have any restraint and they don't know how to, hold themselves back. Maybe, unfortunately, nowadays, maybe they hold themselves back too much, though, and they don't even let loose. They don't even allow themselves to be kids and be manic and youthful. That's what bothers me, too, because then I worry about them. I worry about that coming out in the worst way for them as adults. That's just the one thing I hate. I don't hate young people. I fucking am so genuinely concerned about what kind of adults they're going to be. When they're my age, in their 30s or so. That's what genuinely fucking concerns me, because millennials might not be perfect, but we tried. We had a lot of shit that just wasn't in our cards. A lot of shit that was just shit, a lot of stuff that was just bad luck. But we tried, at least, and a lot of us are doing fine. I don't know, some of us are doing fine, but we're just in the weirdest in between of a lot of that. I gotta eat something in a bit here, but that's all I wanted to say. Parents, you really gotta either not have kids, or if you're gonna have kids, you gotta start raising people. You see these teenager takeovers, they're young people are literally fucking crazy. They're absolutely fucking crazy. Right now, as far as the desire to break rules, be rebellious, they're doing whatever they can to get footage for YouTube and to become viral and famous because they have nothing else. When you take away people's future, when you take away a lot of young people's potential for owning homes, people can't even afford to get driver's license now. My brother being one of them. I know a lot of people that are literally should be driving or are way past. There are a lot of people that don't drive, that don't have driver's license, and it's simply because they can't afford it. Just getting the learner's permit itself, or certain things there are so many things that have been taken away from young people that I understand if they feel that the only way to actually get what they want and strike gold and become rich and successful is to become internet famous, and that's all they've seen. That's all you can't be surprised that this has happened. When everything moves to Facebook and Instagram and all these social media companies owning all businesses by the balls, essentially, and we're paying to hopefully make money off of me for my music, or people with their restaurants. People are literally spending money to just get attention on these platforms, and that's what these young people have seen, is that it all goes back to how many eyes do you have on you on these social media sites and apps. And it makes sense. It all makes total fucking sense. It totally makes, but I'm just, when I see this shit, when I see stories like the Sandy Hook shooter, just and how many fucking school shootings and shootings in general have happened since then, and it's all a mix of negligence and people not having any consequences, and I can't fucking stand it. People need to do better. I'm heading out to work in a little bit, but I'm gonna leave you guys here for today because it's looking cloudy out. I really feel I don't feel like bringing the camera in. I don't really feel like when it comes to work, I'm there every day. I don't want that to be too repetitive, and I think I've gotten enough footage there that I think I'm just gonna be more. I'm gonna bring it sparingly, or once in a while bring the camera to work. Still gonna vlog every day, but I think I might just like leave it here. And if anything actually happens interesting happens over there, we have a story or a bit, maybe I'll just shoot it on my phone and throw it on. I just don't want to. I don't really want to be like annoying the guys with the camera too much. I'll still bring it like here and there. I just don't want to. I don't want the camera in these videos to feel like a ball and chain kind of thing. And I'm realizing I don't want these to be so long anymore, so I might just like start filming my thoughts at home and every once in a while take the camera out of the house or take you guys with me out of the house, because I could always shoot stuff on my phone, and I could always, you know, and in all honesty, like, I don't know, I don't like hauling this thing everywhere and, you know, constantly shooting with it. Shooting with this is great, but it's just like, you know, a whole thing. The phone feels a little more casual. Either way, you know, I think I've put enough in the first 30. I want to look at these in like 30 episode increments. It's like that was in my head like season 1 and all of the developing. And so the next 30 videos, I just want it to be a little more succinct and a little more, I guess, well paced and not just a bunch of stuff happening. Again, if anything worth shooting at work happens, I have my phone. But yeah, just gonna take it easy with this because I'm kind of feeling the repetitive nature of it. That's all. So I'll see you guys after work. Even though I talk about how much I hate to go out, I'm gonna go out tonight. I could rage war and bellow out some soldier cries.